Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of the 30th of January 2020, and just before we start, there's currently a petition asking the developers to update Injustice that we've linked in the description. You can sign that if you want. When we checked it earlier today, it was over 750 signatures, so go ahead and check that out if you so choose.
Pretty good showing, actually, for the number of people who are playing and aware of the petition.
For sure. Getting into it, the current challenge is for Flashpoint Batman. That's a 1 week repeat. The red characters are Catwoman, Nightwing, and Joker, who are bronze, and silver, respectively. His passive is Dark Justice, which is Batman's special attacks turn off all aspects of healing, and Flashpoint characters on Batman's team have a chance to deal increased crit damage. Stats are 1500 attack and 1300 health, so really good high stats, sort of the cream of the crop for that.
Yeah.
And so we were pretty glad that this actually, we guessed last week that it would be animated Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
But glad to be wrong.
Yeah, because that's the last time when they had the pack for Flashpoint, they actually did animate Batman Beyond as the challenge. So, does anything need to be said about him? He's the most important and best basic damage dealer. And he's the key reason why a full Flashpoint team is just so good. So, it's interesting how it's described, right? It says, deal increased crit damage. What it does is it doubles crit damage.
Yeah.
And for those of you who were around when he was first released, it used to say Flashpoint characters on Batman's team gain destructive blows. And they changed the wording. I don't know if they changed anything practically about it. That it's just, yeah. What's interesting, what probably bears talking about is his underappreciated turning off all aspects of healing part of his passive. Since even if he only had the destructive blows, he would be amazing. That would be enough.
But this is, just some extra on top.
Right.
And it's an interesting extra.
Right, because unlike other things that affect healing, it affects regeneration or resurrection. So they have different words for different sort of things that are related and similar.
Yeah.
So it's great on Raven. It works on Containment Suit Doomsday. And what's funny about the passive, even though it doesn't mention it, it doesn't work 100%. There's a chance. And usually when they have something like that, they mention it. But it doesn't happen every time. And it lasts for about 5 seconds. But what's amazing about it is it bypasses any dodging or evasion or blocking of specials. It either triggers or it doesn't. It has nothing to do with what the opponent does. It has everything to do with just a random chance.
Which is pretty great.
Yeah. There's really one main counter to him, and that's the Red Sun Green Lantern team, which negates critical hits. But, that Red Sun Green Lantern team is tough against anyone. It's just more obvious against this team where they do a godly amount of damage output.
Just ridiculous.
And you bring it back down to normal, as opposed to other teams which might be just good and you bring it back down to normal. Now, I guess, Arkham Knight Batman also has a chance with his Wayne Tech boost to remove or counter any kind of crit damage.
Yeah.
But I think this is, one guy on a team as opposed to all three on the team. Blocking crit damage, reducing crit damage to regular damage. I think that's way more meaningful.
For sure. Yeah. This week's multiplayer award is Wally West, whose passive is Speed Force Merge, which gives a chance to dodge any special attack and then counterattack for large damage. If teamed up with Rebirth characters or Flash characters, the chance goes up, and Rebirth characters also receive a power generation boost. Stats are 1350 attack and 1300 health.
So, I forgot to mention Flashpoint Batman was last available more than a year ago, so I can't remember when. But Wally West was available as recently as August 2019. So it seems that the current sequence is continuing. So last week's Master's Death Cart led to Rebirth Wally West, and if the pattern holds, next week should be Gauntlets of Azrael, unless something happens.
Yeah.
So he's got good high stats. He's got fast basic attacks like all the flashes. And the most important part of his passive is dodging specials. And what's cool is he can dodge even when stunned, unlike Dawn of Justice Batman, who does the dodge and then comes back and hits you, and if you don't block, you get stunned.
Yeah.
If Wally West is stunned, he can still potentially dodge. He's a great potential counter against cards that stun on tag in, especially if they're geared to increase damage against stunned. But he's still not a great counter to Tantu Totem, since the Tantu Totem holder will still get all their power back because it doesn't do anything. I guess what really makes it a little bit is that despite that, you've you're getting one of your punches in when you dodge a special. So with a full Rebirth team, that dodge triggers about half the time. And my personal preference, I mean, I like to use flashes in general as basic damage dealers, and Wally West is no different. But since his special 2 is reduced because I think it's got a power drain effect. So he's not a great specialist that way. You want the special 2 to be really high damage. So his passive makes him a little tanky, but he's not really that great a tank. So in my mind, maybe a Rebirth team is better than a full Flash team to max out his passive. And an easy teammate is Rebirth Raven to power drain and be a specialist. But a Rebirth team might even be better with 2 specialists, because then you can give someone else a Tantu Totem and not have it affect how much power she typically has when she tags in, because she has to have less power to drain, right?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Okay.
So there we go. In the store, we've got Batgirl for 25 Canadian. It's 1 copy, won't unlock in your store. It's probably what next week's challenge is. Even more confident that it's what next week's challenge is now that one of the exceptions, right, has not, no longer is an exception from the looks of it, at least this time around.
Yeah.
And you get 100,000 credits with it, so at least it's not a crappy deal like some of the ones for the exact same price that just come with the character by themselves.
Right.
But, you'll have an opportunity to get it pretty soon.
Right.
We also have the Elite Lantern Pack for 26 Canadian, which comes with the Yellow Lantern Hal Jordan, Red Lantern Hal Jordan, which is also not worth it because, again, doesn't unlock in your store. Red Lantern Hal Jordan is interesting, not super great anymore. So,
he was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was good.
Not a huge draw for anything for real money in the store this week. In Survivor, we have the Suicide Squad companion gear until the 12th of February 2020. Phantom Zone is finished. Fight 62 is still broken.
So last weekend's breakthrough was, as expected, as we predicted, Lex Luthor, Batman, and Doomsday. And next weekend, then, if it continues, it should be Bane, Killer Frost, and Ares, which is unusual. It's one of the few, one of the only weeks, I think, that does not have any of the characters that was left out of the breakthrough for so long. So we've got a link in the description to a Reddit thread from Devlin16 that just lays them all out. And I think that's it for the regular part.
Moving on to the current glitches, just remember that every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We're Android only, so we're only able to confirm these glitches for Android, but we will be talking here and there about stuff that we are aware of for iOS as much as we are aware of it.
Yeah. So maybe let's start with not working glitch number 1, which is the one for credits. So we talk about it in a lot more detail. There is one that's being used. We don't endorse it because of the danger. It's we discussed it in our P&Q and CNA and T video, season 6, episode 9, and we'll link that. The main issue is that it requires you to have 2 devices and be logged into the same account simultaneously on both devices. Too much risk of having your account suspended.
Yeah.
So just not worth it. Getting repeated multiplayer season rewards is not working. The glitch for early multiplayer season rewards is not working as an exploit, but I was able to trigger it actually last season. Inadvertently, I was playing at the time of the changeover of the season.
Yeah.
And then when I finished that ladder, it gave me that season's reward at my that current ranking. So I did not actually get the Master's Death card. But it means that if that's when it can trigger, it's going to be hard to exploit because you need to time it just right and have enough
battle points to be high ranking.
Right.
So you need to basically be able to run through it and go as fast as possible and then hopefully get in there before anybody else is playing so that you can get really high if you're trying.
Right. So you want to start before the end of the last season, play over the beginning of the next season.
Yeah,
and probably do an ultimate. You want to do an ultimate and finish it fast enough so that your bonus points at the end push you high enough that you get a good ranking.
It would probably make the most sense to be on like the last fight of an ultimate when it switches over if possible, so you can do the one fight and then get the bonus, because I think that's probably faster than you'd be able to get battle points any other way.
Yeah, I wonder if it would still award you for that season, or when it announces the next season, it would boot you out and give it to the
hard
last
to say.
One. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so preliminary, we might be able to be doing something with that.
Yeah, so there's no glitch to skip over the videos for free energy because there's no more button for videos to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can look at the working glitches. The glitch let you play Phantom Zone repeatedly is still working, so, you know, when it's up, that's great. Challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is working. That's confirmed on the current Flashpoint Batman challenge. And just a reminder, I know it's not up right now, but when it is, if you're doing one of these reset glitches, you're doing both of them. So be ready to reset both or don't reset at all.
Right. And we've cut and pasted a comment from viewer Jonathan Yang on how to reset the challenge on an iOS device. We can't test that, so, you know, use at your own risk, but it seems like there's been enough feedback that it sounds...
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breakthrough glitch, let you play repeatedly, still working. We've never had problems. But, again, if you're having problems, we've cut and pasted into the description a comment from a viewer who's found a solution when they ran into problems, but we can't test it because we can't actually reproduce the same situation to even test it.
Yeah. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working. That's good for packs with random drops and last laugh tickets. Doesn't work in the Phantom Zone because the Phantom Zone requires an online connection, although it looks like there's a way to do it in iOS from what people mentioned in comments. Mm-hmm. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges, and now without the button, probably the best way to get at that energy back and everything except for online multiplayer.
Yeah.
As always, return your clock back to normal before you finish. And we say not to do it in online multiplayer just because messing with your device clock while you're actively sending information to online is not the safest bet.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that leaves us with the final in limbo kind of glitch, where the promotion glitch, which has specific conditions where it was working when it was working, those conditions just haven't been here since 2.14.
Mm-hmm.
So we will, because we are pedants, we will remove it when it's actually failed us for the first time, and it seems like it never will fail us because the conditions will never be back.
Mm-hmm. So there we go. To finish up, we'd like to give a huge thank you to everybody supporting us on Patreon. So that's Consul, Peasant, and Edwoon, who are supporting us at the top tier Last Word, Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn, Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, and Michael DeVries, who are supporting us on the credited level, and Chris Wolff and a new patron, Scarlet, Enby, at the gratitude level. So thanks so much for your support.
And I'm hoping to add something a little bit more concrete. Somebody was asking for a compilation of the multiplayer and the challenge events over the last year or so, just looking for patterns, and I think I might actually post that up on Patreon.
As a patron exclusive.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like we owe them a little bit. They've been really good supporting us for so long for a little bit of acknowledgement, but not actually a lot of extra content. So
yeah, so there you go. And thanks so much to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.